Hi Year 4 and welcome to my science video. It's Miss Hattersley and I'm going to be sharing a science investigation with you guys that you can have a go at home. Now, I had a chat with Mr. Conliffe, who told me that you guys are busy learning all about sound and that you've been watching some videos from Oak National Academy and having a go at some activities. So we're going to have a go at an activity that's going to help us to learn all about pitch. So pitch is a measure of how high or how low a musical note is, or well, any sort of sound. So you guys will already have learned that sounds are caused by vibrations, and that the object makes that vibration, and that vibration travels through the air till it reaches your ear, where it hits your eardrum, causes your eardrum to vibrate, and your brain interprets that as sound. So we're going to have a go at making some musical notes of different pitches, and we're going to use it to create a really simple guitar. And all you're going to need to do that is some elastic bands of different thicknesses or different lengths, and a plastic box. So this is just like the sort of plastic box that you might keep your sandwiches in. So I've got here 5 different elastic bands, and I'm going to stretch them over the box like that, and I'm going to listen to the different notes that they can create. So make sure that you leave a little bit of space between them. Just makes it easier to pluck the note that you want to have a go at making. So I've got 5, but if you've only got 3, that's absolutely fine. I've got my 5 rubber bands on my box, and it makes like a really simple guitar. So ideally different thicknesses or different lengths, and ones that are going to be reasonably tight over your box. I've got my guitar. I wonder how you think the thickness or the length of my rubber bands is going to affect the pitch, how high or how low the note is that each of my rubber bands is going to play. Why don't you press pause on the video and talk to people around you and see what ideas you all have, and come back to me when you've decided what you think. So, welcome back. We've got our guitar. We're going to use it to play some notes. So I'm just going to pluck them, and you should be able to hear that making a noise, and hopefully you can also see that as it's making that noise, the rubber band is itself vibrating, and it's that vibration that is causing the sound. And as the rubber band vibrates, and you'll be able to see it on yours, even if you can't quite see it on mine, it is knocking into all of the air molecules, and it's causing all of those air molecules to vibrate all the way up to the ones that are in your ear, that hit your eardrum, and that your brain interprets as sounds. So if you listen again, do all my rubber bands make the same sort of sound? What do you think? Have a go with your rubber bands. Do all your rubber bands make the same sort of sounds? Okay, so which rubber bands, if they don't all make the same sound, what's different about the sounds that they make? Are some higher or lower than others? Okay, so if you can hear that, it's quite quiet, but that's quite a high note. That one's quite a low note. And hopefully you can see that this one that's making the high note is quite thin, whereas this one that's making my low note is quite thick. How tight the rubber band is and how thick the rubber band is going to affect the pitch of the note. Okay, because the shorter the band, okay, the tighter it's going to be, and the higher the pitch of the note is going to be, because it can vibrate more quickly. So the more quickly something vibrates, the higher the sound is going to be. So my green one here is pulled particularly tight. It's the shortest of my rubber bands, and it makes the highest note because it's vibrating faster than the bigger one down at the bottom here that makes the lower note. Test that out with your rubber bands. Do you reach the same conclusion? Press pause and come back to me when you have had a chance to chat about it. So one thing that I learned today through doing this investigation is why children often have higher voices than adults. I always knew that children's voices tended to be higher, even just from things like listening to you guys sing in assembly. You can reach notes that there is no way I can reach. But I never really understood why until I was researching how to make these guitars and all about pitch. And it's because you guys tend to have smaller and thinner vocal cords, and it's your vocal cords that vibrate when you talk. So when I'm talking at the moment, my vocal cords are vibrating. Yours are smaller and thinner, so they vibrate much faster than mine do as an adult. Mine are larger and thicker, so they vibrate more slowly, so my voice is going to be lower, which explains why I have such a hard time hitting all those big notes in Mrs. Ellaby's singing sessions. So that is pitch. So the faster that something is able to vibrate, the higher the pitch, okay, the note it's going to make. The slower that something is able to vibrate, the lower the pitch of the note that it's going to create. Okay, you just go away remembering that pitch is how high or how low something is, and it's down to how fast it is vibrating, in this case our rubber bands, as to how high or how low that note's going to be. The faster it vibrates, the higher the note. The slower it vibrates, the lower the note. Love to see your guitars. Maybe you could have a go at making some music with them. So I am going to have a go at seeing if I can play 3 Blind Mice on my guitar. So I'm just going to pause the video whilst I pull up the musical notes for 3 Blind Mice, and then we'll see if I'm any good. Okay, so hopefully this has worked and you guys are back to being able to hear me, but you can also see the musical notes for 3 Blind Mice on the screen. Now, it doesn't matter that if you can't read music, all you need to remember is that the lower the notes appear on those musical lines, the lower the note it is that it makes. Okay, so the higher up the sets of lines, or the higher up the staves as they're called in music, the higher the note is going to be. So let's see if I am any good at all at playing 3 Blind Mice. And if you're inspired to have a go, you can pause the video, you don't have to listen to me playing, and have a go yourself. So let's see if I'm any good. Got mine in the wrong order there. Let's try again. Still not quite right. So 3 Blind Mice. It gets a bit tricky as you get halfway into there, but have a go. You might need to add on some more rubber bands. You might need to change the order that you've got your rubber bands on your guitar. I think that mine still aren't quite in the right order for me to successfully play Three Blind Mice. But I would love to know how you get on. So you can tell Mr. Cunliffe, Mrs. O'Gorman, Mrs. Ty and Mrs. Buckley. But I would also love you to tell me as well. So if you are on Twitter, be sure to share a video of you having a go at playing Three Blind Mice, or some photos of you making your guitar, or you can email your photos to work at parklandsleeds.org.uk, and we would love to see how you get on. I'll be back with another video soon to help extend your knowledge of sound, and that one is going to be all about soundproofing. So challenge for you is to go away and find out what I mean by soundproofing, and I will be back with another video soon. So I'm just going to end my video, and I'll see you again soon.